Kia ora and welcome to Basketball New Zealand's presentation of the Under-23 National Championships, coming to you from Te Raupaha Arena in Porirua. Well, I'm Zico Coronel, and today we see a match-up in the bronze medal match between two very good sides that play some really exciting basketball. First, we see the lineup for Coach Greg Brockbank, Otago. There's some really prominent players there, notably Josh Aitchison, back recently from Egypt, where he was a junior tall black at the World Championships, and he's ably supported by a number of very successful youth players. Benoit Heyman has been critical for them, a member of the Otago boys team that won the National Secondary Schools Championship in 2014. Here we see a Hutt Valley team that has really been very prominent in its style of play throughout the years, coached by Judge Liafa, one of the great NBL players throughout the last 2 decades, and it's a very balanced attack for Hutt Valley. No one scoring more than Theo Johnson's 12.4 points a game, but they have as many as 7 of these players between 12 and 5 points a game, getting some really balanced contributions. Hutt Valley had gone through to the semi-final undefeated and were beaten in disappointing fashion for them by a very good Canterbury team. Otago lost to Hutt Valley in pool play in what was a reasonably comfortable win for Hutt Valley. Otago's highlight of the tournament, as we see them come out in the blue, was an upset, close quarter-final win over the always touted Harbour team. They then had a competitive loss where they couldn't quite hold the fort through the 4th quarter and lost to Waikato Country last night. Similar to the girls' game that we just saw, where Otago were very, very good. This is a psychological challenge for these players who would have been hoping to make a national final and be playing on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page and iFilm later today. It wasn't to be, and so now they find themselves in a bronze medal match, and we will see how well they deal with that adversity and come out and play hard today. Otago in the blue, Hutt Valley in the green. First position goes to Otago. Both these teams have really good guards, so it's going to be very interesting to see which guard unit gets the prominence. Bigs, a little bit undersized Theo Johnson, a former junior tall black, and a current junior tall black, Josh Aitchison, play big. They're more 3 to 4s, and they immediately go into Johnson, who collapses the D and finds Wellington State's championship winning backup point guard Jackson Stubbins in the left corner. And he shows one of the areas of his game that he's really worked to improve is 3-point shooting, and he knocks it down to begin the game. And it's a lovely little pull-up there by Benoit Heyman, averaging 15 points a game for Otago. Really underrated player, but anytime you sleep on him, maybe get overawed by his bigger name teammates, he tends to come through. We've seen Jackson Stubbins hit the pull-up. Now we see his twin Elliott hit the mid-range 15-footer. Heyman answers back off the left corner. Can't make it, and this is where Hutt Valley are dangerous as they run in numbers. And Jamal Makayo can't quite make the finish, but he has drawn the foul. Quite simply, you cannot allow Hutt Valley to get out in transition. Maybe not as dynamic as they once were, but still pretty dangerous in that situation. Jamal Makayo, one of the few players in this team that isn't a Hutt Valley High School old boy. He was a very, very good member of the St. Pat's Town program. Had many a successful tournament under head coach George Liafa, who continues to coach this group that he's coached for many, many years in reps. His son Isaiah, of course, were a part of this group, but not available for this tournament because he's now at Sacramento State playing in Div 1 college. Aitchison is a very good mid-range shooter. This is what we see from Hutt Valley, the cuts, the tremendous passing as Makayo finds Elliott Stubbins cutting behind the defense along the baseline. In terms of a game of basketball, this game should be aesthetically pleasing. Two teams that play some really nice basketball. Should be fast-paced, some great passing, some great teamwork. They're looking to go inside to Theo Johnson. Out to Stubbins, and he tries to split, bails out with a late pass to Theo Johnson. Theo cannot knock it down. Theo also won a championship with the Saints earlier this year in his adopted hometown of Tauranga. What a special moment for him, as we see Darcy Knox averaging 12 points a game at this tournament. That's a very lovely drive, 2-foot jump stop. Nice soft touch with the left-hand finish as Hutt Valley continues to work Theo Johnson down on that block. This time he's able to get the jump hook over Josh Aitchison. Josh Aitchison, the key player for Otago, possibly Coach George Lee Arthur helping to draw a couple of early fouls out of him, or possibly make him defend and wear him down. Tough runner thrown up there by Richie Roger. Couldn't quite complete it. Josh Aitchison was the head boy at King's High School in Dunedin only last year, I believe. Young player, now at Otago University, played for the Southland Sharks this year as a part of their squad, a junior Tall Black starter as they went to the World Champs in Egypt, and he's averaging 23 points a game to be third at this tournament. But so far, Theo Johnson's been having some level of success posting him up. Hutt Valley out to a good early start. Hutt Valley in the green, up 11-4. Here's Aitchison, skilled, tall player. Just trying to beat Theo Johnson off the dribble. There's really no bigs in this game, so one of the advantages that Aitchison often gets is that he's marked by a slower player. No slower players exist on this Hutt Valley team as Nico Buckroll splits across the middle, and Elliot Stubbins once again cutting behind the defense. Otago, the effort that they must show to keep them out of transition is immense. It's going to be very hard for them at the end of a long tournament to play hard enough to stop Hutt Valley just doing these type of things and just running and running and running. Coach Brockback knows that they're in danger of get blown out if they continue to allow Hutt Valley get out in transition, so he takes an early timeout as Hutt Valley's built an early 15-4 lead. Only 4 minutes to the game to have already scored 15 points. And if we project that out for the game, they're going to score 150. I'm sure they're not going to stay on that pace, but it certainly will make the live stream interesting. So Otago cannot accept that. They take an early timeout, and they're going to definitely be discussing their defensive transition strategy. Coach Brockbank, quite animated. Lots of talk, lots of pointing. Most of it in the end of their basket. I'm sure this message is a lot along the lines of get back, find the cutters behind you. It's a very, very difficult situation in the game, defensive transition. Possibly the hardest defensive situation that you have to deal with is that first 2 to 3 seconds. You have to be very, very on point mentally. You have to talk. You have to do a good job in your individual containment. Over the years, there's probably been no team that was better at exploiting those 2 to 3 seconds than this Hutt Valley team. National champions in 2013 at the under-19s. So they have had success at this level before. It's just been Canterbury has been their bugbear at the under-23 level. Beat them in the final 2 years ago in a very close game. Beat them last night in the semi. If it wasn't for Canterbury, we'd be looking at a team that would probably have 5 or 6 national championship medals from their youth careers at the under-23 level on their mantelpiece. Instead, it's still the very notable accomplishment of one under-19 national championship medal. Nico Buckroll was the MVP at under-17 nationals many years ago, but that national championship medal was won with the Wellington Association. Very notable accomplishment for him as he makes the long outlet, but Otago doing a better job following Coach Brockback's instructions. This time is back and they're able to steal that early pass. Need to get their spacing right here as everyone's running for that catch. You see Theo Johnson with the board, skilled player, finding Jackson Stubbins. Stubbins, a world-class passer. Little triple post action here. Stubbins probing, finds Makayo on the left. Makayo's a very, very physical player, and he weight rooms Darcy Knox there and gets all the way to the rim for the finish. Knox trying to use his quickness and footwork, but I believe he's going to be called for a travel. Substitutions coming into the game here for both sides. Elliot Stubbins exits the game. Young Cam Stephen, one of the very, very good high school players last year, single-handedly almost led his Hutt Valley High School team to a national secondary school championship qualification. Another member of the Saints squad this year. Jordan Hunt, another former Saint championship winner from the year before, enters the game. Otago looking to attack here in the prominent hands of Aitchison. Nice little rub cut action there as they kick the ball to the corner and bring movement off the weak side. Difficulty with Hutt Valley is that a lot of them can switch, but they're able to blow past Nico Buckroll there with the drive, and this time Darcy Knox doesn't have to travel because it's such a clean blow by. He gets a layup, and there's a great seal by Jordan Hunt. He's been playing at a college level in Oregon, went to a smaller school where he knew he'd get opportunities to play, and he had a tremendous season. Started, I believe, played heavy minutes. He's certainly looking like he's put on a little bit of width. Been working hard in the weight room. Always a really skilled player, number 14 for Hutt Valley to the right of your screen. Intelligent young man, great kid. And he's now starting to have that physical presence about him as well with that hard work in the US college system. So he made a great seal and cleared the way for Makaio, and then Makaio was more than happy playing in Porirua, his home city, crashing into people and getting to the foul line. Jamal never shy of some contact. Otago with some new players into the game. Stanley Muru, see him on the right baseline, back up big. Richard Roger, very, very skilled player. And Jackson Stubbins won't be allowed to do that. He can't enter that area until it hits the rim. He's trying to get that Allen Iverson tip dunk off the free throw. Jordan, of course, had a prominent example of that as well. Not an easy feat to pull off. Little pin down action there for Otago. Generated a good look, but they weren't able to knock it down. Chris Porteous with the rebound. Chris Porteous, a pretty amazing young man. As a 7th former, he was the head boy, the captain of the first 15, and the captain of the senior A basketball team. I think his time management might be pretty good as they run a little strong motion look, pinned down for Stubbins to come to that corner. And for someone who people believe is not a shooter, that's his second left three that he's made of this game. Purely comes down to Jackson's confidence and willingness to shoot it. Otago with the baseline out of bounds. See what action they have designed here. Richie Roger with a little rub screen trying to get an interior catch, and Roger slips out of it. That's excellent execution, lovely pass and vision there. Very clever play from Richie Roger. He made it look like he was going to screen to try to get the interior catch for Muru. Instead slipped out of that screen and got the inside position. Otago is going to need more of that because this game is quickly swinging to Hutt Valley, 21-8, early going. Good box out there by Porteous on the bigger Muru. You see the entry into the game for Hutt Valley of George Love. I believe he is from Canterbury. He's come up to Victoria University possibly to play, and that's a nice breakaway layup there for Tom Davison. He gets the completion. Otago just trying to make this competitive going into the quarter time break, just to hang around. They run the same pin plate as Otago recognize it. They don't, but Lucky Davison deflects the pass out of bounds before the danger could develop. See Benoit Heyman re-enter the game. Sirens going all over the place, players confused. Buckroll with the three, and that's what Nico Buckroll can do. He is a very good catch and shoot player. Another member of the Saints squad. A lot of experience on this Hutt Valley team. Deep catch here, and that's a great dig by Campbell Stephen on the post entry and transition opportunity. Jackson Stubbins pretty casual there, and lovely little behind the back pass action. They just needed one more cutter to be involved in that play for Benoit Heyman. Lovely wheel action there. Richie Roger, very nice pass. And James Scobie with some adept interior movement led to him getting the layup. Trying to get the flare screen here, an interior catch. It's not really Hutt Valley's game so much to be interior oriented. Heyman working the baseline, overcooks his little lefty floater. Otago has done a better job of getting back and taking away those transition scores, so that is a benefit for them. Hutt Valley not able to get the very, very easy layups that they were getting in the opening moments of this game, and the score has stabilized at about a 12-point differential. Late foul call, but probably an accurate one. Drive made by Hamish Robertson. Hamish Robertson, I believe, from St. Kevin's in Oamaru. He coached their single A boys that won the national championships at the championships last year, and he was also a national championship member as a player about 4 years ago when they won it. So a man who can do it all, coach and win championships and play and be very effective and win championships. One of the youngest players on the floor, Dion Yee, the left corner for Hutt Valley. And transition opportunity broken up there by Cam Stephen as he rotates back and puts out the threat of an Otago breakaway off the turnover. And there's Dion Yee wide open in that corner. And Dion knocks it down. That left corner's been unprotected. Three-point shot. Not able to be made. Otago hustling hard. Almost saved there by Tom Davison off the Darcy Knox miss, but not quite able to do it. And with 56 seconds to go in this first quarter, Coach George Liafa calling a timeout. Obviously, there's something quite specific he wants to run. Possibly he's going to take this timeout to discuss what play they're going to run now, and then they should get the ball back again to finish out the quarter. So 2 plays that he wants them to run. George, a very, very good coach. He's won multiple championships at NBL level. Championships with the Waikato Titans under Coach Jeff Green, and alongside the likes of Pero Cameron, Dylan Boucher, Ricky Struther, Prem Krishna. Those teams were absolutely stacked with talented and smart players, and George was right amongst that as the starting point guard. So he had many, many great influences there. Then also with the Wellington Saints, he won a number of championships, playing with many, many more great and smart players. So George's wealth of basketball experience really comes to the fore for these young men. He's coached them for many, many years at the rep level, really sacrificing his time for this group. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what Coach Liafa comes out with coming out of these timeouts. They've been executing really well with their little strong motion pin in to get the corner 3 against the zone to this point. Otago's going to have to be hyper aware, do a great job with their communication to take away what might be to come. They cannot really afford to bleed more points. Already down 15 in the early going. Little cross screen action to get a catch on the rim, and perfectly executed. They just need a finish, and third time is not quite a charm. Working hard down there on that baseline. George Love, really well designed play by Coach Liafa, executed to perfection, got the easy layup. Mr. Love maybe had a bet with his teammates about the O rebound stats he can collect, because he was certainly hooking himself up with some O boards there. He's not really an interior big, George Love. He's a very skilled player. He can shoot the ball from the perimeter. As you see, he's quite skinny even though he's tall. So he's able to make up for those interior misses by knocking down 2 free throws. Was a really nice player in the Christchurch scene as a youth player. Foul drawn by Richie Roger as he kicks out to that left corner for Jamie McDonald to possibly have a look. Wasn't made, but foul called. That foul will put Otago on the line for 2 shots, as Hutt Valley has committed 5 or more fouls in this quarter, which means that they are in the bonus, Otago. Roger knocks down that free throw. There will be a 2-for-1 opportunity, possibly for Hutt Valley, if they went super quick, really would have been pushing it. Certainly without Buckle on the floor, he's the one who could possibly shoot a super quick three. They come to the same play, and Campbell Stephen realizes that Otago's attention was so much the interior catch that he just turns down the pass and drives all the way to the rim for the easier layup. Great understanding of the flow of the game there by Cam Stephen. Deep three by Roger. It's long, great box out by Dion Yee. And well, the referee, hopefully he'll be watching this live stream and analysing his performance later, because I'm pretty sure he'd be very disappointed in that call. That was a perfect box out by Dion Yee, and the foul, if there was going to be one, should have gone on the Otago player. So that's a completely incorrect call there, but the referees, the critical thing that everyone respects is the time that they give up, and really what people want to see is them making sure that they're analysing and improving to the same level that the players and the coaches do. And that's a heck of a tip-in attempt there by Knox, but he isn't quite able to do it. So a dominant first quarter for Hutt Valley. Could have been worse too. Otago were getting killed in transition. They did manage to stop that to a degree, but 31-13. Hutt Valley in a really strong position at the end of this first quarter. Defensively, they'll be pleased with only conceding 13, and 31 points is a lot of points to score in a quarter. Otago's going to have a lot of work to do. They did lose to Hutt Valley in pool play. Hutt Valley, one of the favourites in this tournament. Waikato Country's going to have something to say about it, but the word around the stadium from a lot of people was that the winner of the Canterbury-Hutt Valley clash would win this tournament. It remains to be seen. The final later today on iFilm, Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page, between Canterbury and Waikato Country will determine whether that is the case. Waikato Country, very, very good team. Dominant big in Hiram Harris. Neither Hutt Valley or Canterbury necessarily has a big that can deal with Hiram Harris. And if Hiram Harris is able to dominate, then the chance of that swinging all the way back to Waikato Country and having the chance to win is there. We'll see. Hutt Valley showing that they are a quality side, and in some ways a peculiarity of the draw meant that two of the best teams, possibly the two best teams, met in a semi-final. One of them had to lose. It wasn't a particularly close game in the end. Canterbury, they really have an outstanding under-23 program. Coach Dave Langrell has run it for a number of years. They really work hard, train, have a very intensive program that exceeds anyone else's, and they really deserve the success that they've got, and it came to the fore late in that game with their fitness and offensive rebounding, pulling them out to a win. Hutt Valley with the first possession of this quarter. Looking to go into their little zone action, cross screens again. And Otago very pleased there. Coach Greg Brockbank, I'm sure in that quarter time, talked about dealing with that play. It's the kind of play that probably has some diminishing returns. The Breakers like that play over the years. Judd Flavel runs it with the Southland Sharks. It's the kind of play that if you run it once, maybe twice, it can be very productive, but more than that, it tends to really diminish in the amount of productivity you're going to get out of it. So it'll be interesting to see if now, having run it 3 times in 3 possessions, Hutt Valley looks to go to something different. This play, broken play, and they tend to stay in movement here. Their movement really broke down in the semi-final yesterday. They didn't have enough action. Took away their greatest strength, which is their passing. Dion Yee with another little contribution after the baseline kick out made by Elliot Stubbins. Josh Aitchison after a long rest in this first quarter. Wing ball screen rejected. Otago's going to need to get busy as the shot clock winds down. And there's Darcy Knox. He loves that little spin move. Punch screen from Mitchell Stephen for his younger brother Cam. Be very, very interesting to see if Otago's awake. They're not, and they get pinned on it again. And Dion Yee once again in that left corner. It's a very, very difficult action to defend. It's just so counterintuitive to guard the ball, and then when the guy gives it up, you have to jump to a front side position and let the man you were just guarding get inside of you. But that's exactly what Otago needs to do, and they need to recognise is Roger, he's been a winner throughout his career on many, many very good teams. Knocks down the right corner three. Flare screens here for Hutt Valley. Running the old Pero Cameron series of zone plays have been very, very successful for a lot of teams over the years, and we're seeing Hutt Valley use them to great effect. George Liafa, of course, played on 2 championship teams under Coach Pero Cameron in 2010 and 2011 with the Wellington Saints, and then also assisted Coach Pero Cameron as an assistant coach in 2015 as the Saints made the final, the narrow loss. So Pero's had a big influence, of course, on George. They also teammates on those Waikato teams that won 2 championships in 02 and 03. Drive and kick sequence, Dion Yee open in the corner. Elliot Stubbins pulls up, and that's going to be a foul on Kieran Friday. Push in the back. Kieran Friday, a St. Pat's Town product. With Wellington not having a team in this under-23 competition, some of their city-based players have decided to join this Hutt Valley team, wanting to be a part of it. These guys have pretty much know each other really well over the years, competing against each other at schools and competing together at reps. Good box out there by Stubbins, kicks across to his twin Elliot. Elliot with an ambitious pass, Mitchell Stephen not quite ready for it. 3 there from Liam Aston, older brother Luke. Tall Black now away with the Tall Blacks on the way to Beirut as we speak. What a rise for Luke Aston. He went down to the Southland Sharks this year and had a really, really good season. Got himself, I believe, into the New Zealand select. Did well. Next thing, he had a Tall Black trial and managed to make the team. Very good shooter. Originally from the Deep South. So no surprises here that his younger brother Liam playing for Otago. Jackson Stubbins orchestrating the action here. Here he comes to this corner. Otago's not aware of it again. And they are at least able to get enough of a contest from Roger to make him dribble inside the 3-point line. Not as easy a shot. Aitchison, very good mid-range shooter, and he knocks it down with a nice little pass off that left baseline. Elliot Stubbins reading the ball screen. They went under, leaves it short. Good ball movement here by Otago, little pin screens. Difficult to generate things with screening actions against this Hutt Valley team. They're so small that they basically are all undersized, so it doesn't really matter. They may as well all switch. Makes it quite hard to get space. What you do have to do is be able to get an advantage on the interior, and Josh Aitchison is Otago's best avenue for that with an O-board here. Jackson Stubbins just committed the professional foul, not allowing him to get the ball up above his waist and putting him on the foul line before there was any prospect of an and-one finish. Aitchison makes the first free throw. Really enjoyed his experience with the junior Tall Blacks under head coach Daryl Cartwright. What an amazing opportunity that they so rightfully earned, beating Australia last year to earn that opportunity. They clearly were the better team than Australia. There was no doubt about that. Maybe historically it was an upset, but in terms of the quality of the two teams, I really don't believe it was. I think New Zealand was clearly the better team. They did really well at the World Championships. Maybe it'd be slightly disappointed the number of close losses that they might rue, but what a wonderful accomplishment. And obviously for all involved, a great learning opportunity. And I think with us going to FIBA Asia, a number of New Zealand teams are going to have the opportunity to play at World Championships. We no longer have to beat Australia to qualify, which of course with Australia's ability at the world youth level was always a really, really tough prospect. But now, with more spots available and the opportunity to compete against the Asian nations to get them, Josh and his teammates are probably not going to be the last team that gets to go. 4-0 run for Otago coming into this timeout. They'll be looking to see if they can chip away at this lead, maybe set themselves a little target. Down 16, halfway through the second quarter. They'll be saying things like, can we have it to single figures before we get to the half? After that initial flurry that built the lead, it's been a reasonably even game. So this game is somewhat coming back to Otago, but it's in the balance right now. If Hutt Valley went on the next run, it'd be tough. If Otago goes on the next run, it's a ball game again. Big smile there from Roger. He's enjoying himself. He's played well. Averaging just over 11 points a game for the tournament to be the 4th leading scorer for Otago. They really only have 5 contributors offensively in terms of points of prominence. Looking to get an interior catch here for Theo Johnson. It's a zone design play, but Otago is a man. Nico Buckrill with an offensive foul. Pretty innocuous. Within 14, Otago, little reverse triple post action. Benoit, he's very good on that lefty floater, and he makes it there. When they won the national title in 2014, they were in big trouble in the semi-final against the favourites, the Rangi Totor, and it was Benoit Heyman coming in off the bench that no one really knew who he was, but people know about him now because he saved them that day and got them back into the game. They were able to win it and then go on to win the national title the next day. People remember the name Benoit Heyman from that point on, and he's been one of the most prominent players at this under-23 tournament, averaging over 15 a game for Otago from the point guard position, and some sloppy zone offense and another breakout layup. And as we said, who would make the next run? Well, it's proven to be Otago off the back of some very careless, casual turnovers from Hutt Valley. And Otago now is back within single figures. Our score update will come soon. 36-28 on the official big board. Roger bringing the ball up. They're moving the ball. Hutt Valley a little bit discombobulated at the moment. Aitchison with the ball. Theo Johnson not in a defensive stance. They get the switch on to Kieran Friday, and Aitchison drives baseline. No one filled the corner, so he didn't really have any kickouts available to him. And not happy with the way things are proceeding. No, sorry, this timeout has been adjudicated to Otago. They've got 3 seconds on the shot clock for this baseline out of bounds, so very, very clever use of his timeout from Coach Brockbank. He'll be talking about exactly what they want to do to execute on this 3-second situation. They're also under significant heat off the D-trans here. Normally one of your key safeties takes the ball out of bounds on a D-trans on a baseline out of bounds situation. So making sure that your players are really attuned to who's going to cover for that man, because it's not going to be the typical person in the D-trans safety role, most likely. So they're going to need to make sure that they really are on the same page about who's going to execute this. They need to execute the play, try to get an easy shot, but they do need to be mindful of their defensive balance. Otherwise, this could lead to a quick, easy run out for Hutt Valley, and they are very good at exploiting those situations, as we saw earlier in the first quarter. Of course, they could really work their way back. Hutt Valley in the green, awaits Otago in the blue. See if Hutt Valley maybe change their defense here a little bit to try to make the timeout instructions null and void. Little line play for Otago. And not particularly much of a design there. Really didn't create much of an advantage for the players to get any kind of look, but they did do a good job of the D-trans. Jordan Hunt, for a big man, he is deceptive. He is a very good shooter. Even if he was a shooting guard, he'd be a good shooter. And gets an easy look there and then does a great job dealing with that post sprint by Stanley Murud. Wouldn't allow him to get an easy catch on the interior. Jordan Hunt really making a good contribution on that little sequence. Double team from Otago. Campbell Stephen throws a pretty poor pass, but Nico Buckle, who has some big mitts, was able to haul that in. Here comes Jackson Stubbins to the corner. Richie Roger now knows that play and executed his defensive responsibility really well. So that shows some intelligence on Rogers' part, possibly some really good coaching from Brockbank, pointing out to his players exactly what they needed to do to take that play away that was killing them early in the game. Richie Roger with a stare down three, not good. Run out opportunity here for Hutt Valley, but they don't get particularly good width and they have to pull it back out. Otago's D-trans has really improved as this game's progressed. If anything, Otago is now getting the better of the transition opportunities in this quarter. Largely due to live ball turnovers, mind you. And you can't do that. Once you leave your feet, you either have to shoot or pass. You cannot leave your feet to dribble. Otago's arguing that his feet were still on the ground. Of course, Chandler Parsons is absolutely exceptional at doing that. The Memphis Grizzly, who, when he's not injured or on trysts on the nightlife, is very good at that up fake. Late shot clock here. Nico Buckle going to work. Gets it to Jackson Stubbins. Stubbins throws up a runner, and Otago has got a chance to run out here as three Hutt Valley players very late to react to the change of possession, and Heyman is able to do it. Hutt Valley coming back the other way. Buckle driving in, kicking out to Stubbins. Stubbins delays to give Buckle a chance to get back behind the three-point line, but Richie Rogers' intelligence defensively has really improved throughout this game. He's now starting to recognize where the shooters are, who they are. He's arriving as the ball arrives, so they have no space. Really impressive performance from Richie Roger, showing that he can learn as the game progresses. A very valuable skill as he looks to progress. Has played at NBL level with the Canterbury Rams a little bit. He's able to be this clever. It's a good sign as they go into a little shuffle action. Aitchison is going to draw a foul on Jordan Hunt on that little right wing face-up. Extended post catch. With that foul, Hunt has to exit the game. George Love re-enters. Same stack alignment. Elliot Stubbins in for Cam Stephen. And they get the same little post catch on the exact same spot for Aitchison, and this time he rises up in Theo Johnson's face, knocks it down. Aitchison, a very, very good mid-range shooter. Really, really good young man, really smart player, awesome leader, and a real asset to have on your ball club. Stubbins with a wide open three, and he knocks it down again for his third three of the game. Brings a big free air guitar from Chris Porteous, loving it on the score bench. Really important part of any team is to have that bench height. Before Kent Bazemore was scoring 15, 20 points a game in the NBA, he made his living by being awesome at being a great teammate and bench celebrations, and that bought him time. I mean, obviously, okay, you don't make it just for your dancing skill. He could play, but it does make a difference to the chemistry of the team, and it might be the difference between you making a team as a 12th man or not, excelling in the role that's available to you. Not everyone can be taking all the shots or playing all the minutes. Some guys do have to be bench guys. How good are you at that? You sit there sulking, and you may find that you're not very valuable to your team. And Chris Porteous exemplifies being unselfish, a great bench guy. Three-point shot for Buckle. Good boards by Stubbins. A little bit smaller group here with Robertson and Roger playing as the forwards here for Otago. Intelligent players. Great D by Robertson as he cuts off that drive. Hustle on the floor. Whistle. James Campion, under all that muck, he's found a reach in on the part of Otago, and George Love, good free throw shooter, will set himself up 15 feet from the hoop, ready to shoot these free throws once more. Coach Brockbank arguing that he wasn't shooting the ball. He could probably make a pretty good case on that. Of course, with Otago not being in the penalty, it would have meant that the ball would have come inside. And they've called an over the back foul there on Theo Johnson, contesting that rebound. And unlike Otago, Hutt Valley has committed too many fouls in this quarter, and so Aitchison will walk all the way to the other end for 2 free throws. 6.4 seconds remaining. It's about as good a result as you could hope for Otago with limited time left. Aitchison misses the first. Hutt Valley has a size advantage here off these rebounds as the forwards for Otago, who are not particularly big, play back, and even still they don't box out, and Aitchison's going to get a chance to make good on those misses, but he can't quite do it. And Hutt Valley, after a good second quarter from Otago, still has a lead, 45-34. We'll be back after a short break.
We're here to select the under-17 New Zealand boys team for 2017 to qualify for the World Championships. So, fantastic opportunity for the boys. And when we step on the floor, okay, we're in the grammar gym, you're competing with each other. When we walk back over the road, you guys are boys.
So on court, they're understanding defensively the pressure they need, offensively the structure and the discipline that they need, and then off court being taught how to manage your body.
So some of the conditioning things that we're going to have a look at are about how you train yourself for basketball using conditioning that is based around one leg.
Big thing, obviously, we're looking for good skills. Offense, can you shoot it, can you dribble it, can you pass it? We're going to hang our hats on defense with this squad. Can you slide in front of your man? Can you communicate? Can you finish a position by making a hit and boxing someone out?
If I gave you a challenge to go out and educate yourself about family violence, it's the same with us. But not because it's depressing, but because you want to be a better man, you want to be the best man you can be. You know, it can be a little bit awkward to talk about these things, but hey, everyone's doing it, no one's talking about it, and that's what part of the problem is.
Going into Asia and the new qualifying system, you know, we've got to make sure we get the right team. There's so much talent in New Zealand basketball at the moment. Giving them the opportunity to come into camp for 3 or 4 days, compete against each other, really prove themselves, it's really vital at the moment.
welcome back to Basketball New Zealand's coverage of the Under-23 National Championships, coming to you from Te Rapaha Arena in Porirua. Right now we have the men's bronze medal game between Otago and Hutt Valley, and Schick, they've come on board this year. They're going to be the naming rights sponsor for the New Zealand secondary schools. Just an amazing tournament, and they offer some pretty awesome products. Used my Schick razor this morning. Just thought I'd look a bit sharper for the commentary, even though we're not on screen. So you definitely want to make sure that the companies that are supporting New Zealand basketball, and they've come on with a significant help for the New Zealand secondary schools championships. As a basketball community, let's make sure we utilize them at any opportunity possible so that we get that reciprocal relationship occurring. There's Hutt Valley. Are up 11. Really dominant first quarter. Otago won the second. A few Hutt Valley guys out there getting a few shots up. Others having a bit of a rest. Otago, a little bit of a discussion, animated discussion between their head coach, Greg Brockbank, and James Campion. Maybe a few discrepancies in their beliefs about how the game is being called. Manager Jonty Whelan's crossing the floor. He looks friendly enough. Oh, comes down. He's offering his condolences to Greg Brockbank there. Maybe he just wants to know if they need any of their water bottles filled too. Jonty Whelan's, he's a good fella. Played with these guys for many, many years, but now moving into an administrative role with Hutt Valley Basketball and helping out as the manager for this team. Another unselfish person. Otago ball will be the first possession. They really did a much better job in a few key areas. Real credit to their coach, Greg Brockbank, to help them to improve their understanding of what needed to be done. Their D-trans went from being woeful to being sound, and they were able to take away some of the plays that Hutt Valley had been destroying them on early. First play, a little shuffle look to try to post Aitchison in the block. They get what they want here. He goes to work on Makayo, and they've called Makayo, I believe, for a left arm armbar. They called a blocking foul. Makayo half done by. That was pretty good post D. And there Otago with a fortunate foul call to stop that breakaway. So we see Otago ball here. Crew hard at work. We've got finals coming later today. After this, the women's final. Waikato will be playing Tauranga. Then after that, the men's final, Canterbury and Waikato Country. And just like that blooper from Jackson Stubbins, is we're trying to set up some extra cameras to give you the best of coverage here on iFilm, and also later today on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page. There might be the odd little blooper as a couple of those camera setups. We saw the camera fall over there. Was a little bit of a undermanned crew, 2 people working super hard on this, trying to get it all ready, doing a great job. So just bear with us if the odd camera falls over or something like that. It'll be all for the good of an amazing finals coverage with multiple angles that we'll be able to bring you. Nico Buckle open there, looking to execute their little play, and that's one thing that Elliot Stubbins does really well, is cut along the baseline, but he wasn't able to quite hit that shot. And battling hard there is Jamal Makayo. Jackson Stubbins kicks out. Theo Johnson driving into traffic, and finally the persistence of Hutt Valley plays off, and Makayo, who kept the position alive, is able to complete the layup on a nice pass from Theo Johnson. Deliberate offense here from Otago leads to a skip for a Darcy Knox 3. Darcy Knox has been a good player in this game, and that continues now. Theo Johnson with a cut to Elliot Stubbins, cutting along the baseline. Not a bad idea at all. The pass just not quite located well enough to make it an easy catch for Stubbins. Little pin downs here for Heyman. And Heyman's able to get to that lefty floater, his patented move. And it's as close as it's been for a long, long time as Jackson Stubbins draws the foul out of Liam Aston. It's the second foul there for Otago. Fouls developing quickly for them in this quarter. That could be a factor if it gets to the bonus later on in this quarter. At the moment, they'll hit the bonus with 6 minutes to go in the quarter. That'll be a lot of free throw opportunities on offer for Hutt Valley if they continue to be aggressive. Post up for Theo Johnson. Good little digs by Otago, and Stubbins cutting again. His cutting has been awesome. His finishing has been slightly less than. Trying to get the ball back. Stubbins commits the foul with a little armbar there. George Liafa believing that they should be allowed to compete for the ball a little bit more. I think in this instance, that probably was a fair enough call. There's been a few misses from that referee, but I think he did a good job in that instance. And sometimes these things even up. Mackay drawing the charge. A team that does the best job of ignoring the referees, focusing on what they can control, not the performance of the referees, but their own performance. That's generally to their benefit. 1-2-2 half-court trap here for Otago, and they're able to cause some problems. The kick ball, it's going to take away shot clock time for Hutt Valley here. How long they're going to have to work to score and generate a good shot. Otago back within 6. They were down big early. From the top of my head, I believe 31-13 at the end of the first quarter. Hutt Valley in rampant fashion, just completely dominating, making it look like it could be a real blowout. Otago, one thing everyone always knows about an Otago team is they don't give up. Stubbins cutting along the baseline again. He's done everything exactly right before he's got the ball, but he's struggled to do the right things when he's had the ball. Heyman with the wide open 3 leaves it short. Good box out by Stubbins there on the baseline against the bigger Knox. Nice little wheel by Makayo. Hutt Valley looking to keep the ball moving. Post catch for Theo Johnson. Double from Otago. Skip to Stubbins, who's been the best shooter for Hutt Valley. He leaves that one short, and we have a foul underneath on Hutt Valley. Hutt Valley boys. Makayo, very physical player, gets pinned there. And now Makayo gets a technical foul. We couldn't hear what he said, but his body language indicate that he wasn't particularly animated. He was just trying to show what he believed was what had occurred to the referee. Roger taking the technical free throw. Otago can nominate anyone to take these free throws. He isn't able to complete it, but Otago will get the ball back at halfway. Makayo has subbed out of the game. Porteous re-enters. Number 7 there for Hutt Valley. Little shuffle back screen into stagger down, trying to post their big wings. Muru's going to go to work. What has he got on the post? Not enough to beat Theo Johnson. Now Theo Johnson goes to work on Muru. Finds Elliot Stubbins with space, and Stubbins short on the 3. Breakout opportunity in the dangerous hands of Benoit Heyman. Lovely high pull cross. He can't quite finish, coming back to his right. Jackson Stubbins now in space to the left hand, and he leaves it short. Otago coming down at speed and firing a 3. They don't make theirs, and Buckrow with the rebound. Great box out, Porteous. Up and down action at the moment. No scoring happening. Theo Johnson, finally someone actually completes the end-to-end action and turns it into some productivity on the scoreboard with a finish. Foul called. He'll go to the foul line for 1. With the high pace of play, we see a lot of subs coming in here. James Scobie, who played very well in the first half with a little wheel along the baseline and a finish, comes in, and we also see Tom Davison, defensive player come back in. Porteous with a good cross, tipped it out, but there was no one to tip it to. We see Hutt Valley, Theo Johnson exiting the game. So George Love into the game here, trying to align George Love's minutes with James Scobie's minutes so that the two backup centers go at each other, it appears. Love running the floor hard up the middle here. Numbers advantage for Hutt Valley. Well defended by Otago. Great individual defense there. Jamie McDonald, that was phenomenal. Stayed in front, kept his hands out, contested the pull-up. Really good job. That was looking dangerous, and he just stunned that offensive attack cold. Good cut there through the middle by Davison. Heyman with an open catch and shoot three, and he knocks it down. Collapse in the defense. Aggressive, hard show by George Love put Hutt Valley in rotations, and that led to the open spot up. Liafa giving instructions to Love, possibly telling him not often that players hard show unless they've been instructed to do so. It's harder to do, but possibly educating him about how he wanted him to do it. And there's that play again. Roger gets out in the nick of time, but it leads to baseline penetration, and Chris Porteous, a nice little catch on the interior and the little floater. Good defense here by Dion Yee, staying in front. Pin down here, and Heyman gets another look, and he knocks it down again. Dion Yee was aware of where he was, but once that pass was given up, Hutt Valley just lost complete awareness of where Heyman was, and that's the last person you can afford to not know where he is for this Otago side. Same play, Richie Rogers guards it perfectly, getting up on top of it, does open up the interior, and George Love takes advantage of this, so it really is a pick your poison play, and it's a little developing arms race. Early, the number one option was working exceptionally well for Hutt Valley. Otago adjusted and took that away, and for a while it wasn't a productive play, but now the number 2 and number 3 options, the interior catches for Hutt Valley, is starting to come to the fore. The onus now on Otago to adjust again. What a great little chess match happening between Liafa and Brockback. Their pieces, intelligent. Roger making good reads. 3-ball a game for Otago. Comes up short. Stubbins pushing, directing. He wants a post up here. Collapses to D. Campbell-Stephen tries to pump fake them. Makes it a very hard shot as you come out of your straight line alignment with that pump fake, and turnover there. Otago just a little bit disappointed that they couldn't complete that transition opportunity. Subs coming, Scobie out. Knox back in, he's a really good player. Robertson in. And timeout here for Hutt Valley. Very small grouping for Otago. They're going to really be able to run and spread the floor and potentially generate perimeter jump shot opportunities. Hutt Valley not a particularly dominant interior team, but they will have a size advantage when they come out of this timeout. Little interesting gamble is there's going to be a contrast a little bit in styles. Hutt Valley in the rear position for them have been the bigger team with the units that are on the floor at the moment. Coach Brockbank foregoing a chair, working on those glutes and quads at the same time as he's coaching. Sometimes hard to find time to exercise as a coach. Spend so much time in the gym, but only exercising your intercostal muscles in your lungs. So maybe he's solved that. Could be the new craze, coach fitness and timeouts. There's a small lineup for Otago. Going to be scrambling around with guys who are primarily guards. Heyman, Davison, Knox, they're all guards. Jamie McDonald probably, I would suggest, normally plays as a guard. He's a little bit taller, but still predominantly of a guard size. He's the biggest man on the floor at this point. Liam Aston has a little bit of length. Here's the referees have forgotten where and whose ball it was. Big debate, players running all over the place as they try to adjust to the decision that's finally made. has had success coming out of timeouts. Hutt Valley have so far. I think they've run this play slightly incorrectly. They have to adjust, but they've found their way to what they wanted. Little arrival ball screen, and Dion Yee with a nice drive. One of the youngest players on the court drives in and draws the foul. Dion Yee, 2 years out of Hutt Valley High School. Most of these players are Hutt Valley High School players, but he was just a young player when they were there. Joined them as a replacement player as a year 10 for Nationals, so he is familiar with many of these players' games. He would have come through trying to emulate them as a successful junior player. Campbell Stephen, another year younger, 1 year out of Hutt Valley High School. Chris Porteous, he's hit that little righty push shot once. George Love working hard for a perimeter big there, giving some interior presence. As we see it, Otago has a very small group on the court right now. They're going to be in danger of giving up O-boards with this group, and George Love immediately took advantage of his length. This is where Otago has the advantage. They're going to have drive and kick to three-point opportunities. So this is a gambit by Coach Brockbank. Which strength is going to win out? The drive and kick in the three, and the pressure and the steal, the turnover that the smaller group with guards gives Otago, or is it going to be the rebounding of Hutt Valley that's going to be the advantage? At the moment, we see it being a little 5-2 advantage, I believe. Since that lineup change was made by Otago, it's worked for them so far. Stubbins with a long Mark Jackson-like turtle back down. Started backing in from about 40 feet. It's not really, I think, backing down to score. He's hoping that it builds a sink off the weak side and he's able to skip for someone to catch and shoot a three. Otago stayed pretty disciplined there. They're coming into that post up again. Same action, this time with a deeper catch. Otago and more help. Campbell Stevens going to get a look here on the weak side. They reach in and Jackson Stubbins, feeling the contact, really clever, fires up a shot so that he can get to the foul line. They would have been in the act anyhow with the bonus, but posting to try to get the sink and get the open shot on the weak side. Hutt Valley doubling down on their big strategy here, bringing Jordan Hunt in to rebound this free throw should it miss. This is about as big as Hutt Valley will ever get, with a 6'8" Hunt and about a 6'5", 6'6" George Love. Richie Roger talking a little schmack to him about how he's going to box him out, and he got him there with a good little box out. Roger re-entering the game to give them a little bit more width and girth. Stanley Muru into the game. So now with the entry of Hunt, Brockbank thinks that he doesn't want to continue with the small ball strategy, and now he gets bigger. So really interesting little chess match happening between two coaches here who are thinking a lot about how they can try to put their team in the winner's circle. Roger with a little post up. He's got a quickness advantage over George Love, who gaps him significantly. Stubbins, little globetrot expedition, trying to get to the foul line here. He doesn't get to the foul line because Otago's adverse to play any D on that, and he goes length of the court for an easier layup. Drive and kick. Knox looking to get space for a catch and shoot look, and he knocks it down as a long two. Inside touch again for Stubbins. And I'm not quite sure who he's intending to pass that to. But what he's achieved is hitting his own bench. Otago trying to stay with additional motion, trying to really use the fact that they have a lot of skilled players on the court, dribble handoffs, drive and kick, trying to get themselves space for a pull-up jump shot. And Liam Aston with that drive and kick sequence finds himself with space on the interior and knocks it down. Back to 4, as close as Otago has been for a long time. They hovered at 6. I don't think they got within 6 ever, and they now have a stop. They'll be able to get this back to a single possession game. And we see quickly subs. Theo Johnson, the starting 5-man for Hutt Valley, re-enters. Nico Buckroll re-enters for Dion Yee. So the deeper bench players out as George Liafa recognises the danger of Otago going into this fourth quarter with very surprising lead, and he gets his strongest group back in, or close to it. Heyman, up fake, creates a catch and shoot look for Knox. This time it doesn't go in from near on the same spot. 2-for-1 opportunity here for Hutt Valley. They should be looking to shoot this quickly. There it is, the catch and shoot for Campbell Stephen, and he knocks it down. There'll be about a 6-second differential between game clock and shot clock. So Hutt Valley, if they execute defending this horns well enough, should be able to get another opportunity. They will possibly be aggressive on this ball screen. We've seen them hard show a little bit. They switch. They've mis-executed the triple switch, and it's going to lead to a layup. They're going to have about that 5 seconds on the differential, but they go early. Maybe thinking they had slightly less time. Jackson Stubbins pulls up from about halfway. They probably could have taken 1-2 more bounces. So Otago slowly working their way back. They're now down 7, 63 to Hutt Valley, 56 to Otago as we go into the fourth quarter. This game is coming back towards Otago, but is it coming back fast enough? They're going to have 10 minutes to try to eke into that 7-point deficit. Josh Aitchison hasn't played so much as the small ball strategy has proved to be successful for Coach Brockbank. So he's going to have to decide whether he stays with the small ball strategy or when does he come back with his best player throughout this tournament. Aitchison, third leading scorer in this tournament, 23 points per game. We see him, the red shoes, standing out in the number 9 singlet, quite a bit taller. He can thrive in a small ball environment. He is a good dribbler. He can penetrate. He can shoot from mid-range and knock down the odd 3. He's got good movement and he can defend and play in a speed game. So they can play him and continue to go with the small ball strategy. But at this time, it appears they're going to stay with the 5-guard look. As we see the bigs for Otago knocked down, though Mudu is sitting on the bench, so possibly he'll come in. That would put a traditional big man on the court for Otago, and that would allow Hutt Valley's bigs to have someone to guard, and it would compress the space a little bit. Looks like close to the strongest lineup will start this fourth quarter for Coach George Liafa. Jamal Makayo not in the game, one of their stronger players, but the majority of the starters are going to re-enter the fray at the beginning of this fourth quarter. Some valuable contributions off the bench. We've seen Dion Yee make some good contributions. Cam Stephen, who just hit the right wing 3 to give them that 2-for-1 opportunity. He will stay in the game. Hutt Valley ball with the first possession. There we see, played together since they were little tackers at primary school. Elliot Stubbins and Nico Buckroll know each other well. For many of these Hutt Valley boys, after many, many years of playing reps, this is their last age group tournament, as they will turn 23 next year and will no longer be eligible for these tournaments. I know that they were very keen to do well. They'll be bitterly disappointed not to be in the final later today, but they still will want to win the last game they ever play in a Hutt Valley jersey. Otago, I'm sure they have some top age players of their own who will also be very, very keen to close out a successful youth career with a win. Campbell Stephen on the driving kick. Elliot Stubbins, bank 3, and there's Jordan Hunt showing that increased strength from the US college system. Great offensive rebound finish. The former Wellington Saint Championship winner. Little dribble drive, weave actions into sprint on ball. It's been productive for Otago throughout this game. Tough fade there for Aston. Ball movement. Theo Johnson trapped there a little bit. Cam Stephen lifts. Buckroll with a great pass fake. He looked off Jordan Hunt cutting towards the short corner. Pump fake to him. Used his eyes. The Otago big shifted out to that short corner early and opened up the bullet pass on the rim to Theo Johnson. Great subtle, intelligent play there by Buckroll, though. That's not the best decision to go under on that Iverson action for Heyman, who's a very good shooter. A little bit of a hear-em-scare-em transition here, but it's going to lead to a great rip-through opportunity for Cam Stephen. He steps through. O-board, tipped out of bounds by Roger. pretty chaotic sequence. And now we see Josh Aitchison re-entering the game for Muru. So now they go to the biggest lineup that can still execute that small ball strategy. Aitchison with quite a bit more skill and ability at that position, so they can still stretch them out. Buckle with a right corner three, short. Theo Johnson using his strength to get to the O board, and a foul just on the forearm on that righty jump hook. Theo Johnson maximizing, and very, very frustrated with the rebounding here is Coach Brockbank calling a timeout. It's going to be addressing the box out. Initially, that small ball strategy worked, but it's now seen Hutt Valley extend the lead with the interior power, the layups, the O-boards, the stick backs. So maybe that's David's strategy is kind of, it's petered out, and they may need to go back to a more conventional lineup. Coach Liafa, see him there on the whiteboard, explaining exactly what he wants from his players. He's had some great out of timeout designs throughout this game. Double-digit lead. Otago got it all the way back to 4. It's extended back out to 11. It's timeout. First timeout of this half for Otago. You have a use it or lose it timeout that you lose as you come into the end stages of the game. So no point saving this one for sure as it extends out to 11. Free throws here for Theo Johnson. He could make it 13 with 2 conversions. Johnson makes the second, so 12 points the deficit for Otago. Knox pushing quick, finding Heyman, closed out well by Buckle. Horns look. Confusion between Aitchison and Roger as to which one was popping and which one was diving. Not a great amount of connection between the two bigs. They didn't really get the space in there for. Well defended by Hutt Valley. Cam Stephen with a really good contest. Poorly executed coming out of the timeout. I would say there'd be a lot of disappointment there by Coach Brockbank, but he'll be very thrilled with that defensive effort to take the charge. It's the kind of toughness plays that Otago need to work their way back here. They're coming back to Horns. Hopefully now Roger and Aitchison are on the same page. We see a flare screen set there this time, and that gives Aitchison space. That's better execution, but he isn't able to convert the play. And we see a foul there on the reach in by Aston, possibly seeing that Hutt Valley had a fast break developing. Otago in a little bit of peril here. They're going to need to significantly improve their performance in the next minute or two. Otherwise, this game is threatening to blow out. Theo Johnson straight on 3. Jordan Hunt with another offensive board. Elliot Stubbins, high turnover count for him today, but Otago quickly gives it back, and after a little bit of soccer, the referee has accidentally pointed the wrong way. Maybe he just doesn't like some of the Otago guys. He wants to give them an aneurysm because they really lost it. It clearly had gone off Buckle's foot. He had the call right. He just accidentally pointed the same way, wrong way, and then ultimately they've got the call right. But for a couple of seconds there as a coach, sometimes you can really lose your mind. Great little wheel inside by Roger to get the deep catch, but then he faded on it. And he's almost tipped that ball. Hutt Valley, the one thing that they really allowed Otago to get back in the game when they had the significant lead last time was live ball turnovers. This time, Jordan Hunt pass and cut off the post entry, and Jamal Makayo eventually found him late. Drive by Aitchison. He loves that right to left spin and up fake. Lovely move as he puts Jordan Hunt in a little spin cycle. maybe seeing that the turnover rate, and they were getting a little bit raggedy. Starting point guard Jackson Stubbins comes back into the game to give a little bit more control for Coach George Liafra in Hutt Valley. Could really do with them making the free throws in this situation. Down 14. You don't really want to be missing out on these points. A little bit of extended pressure off the free throw situation. Good ball movement by Hutt Valley. Stubbins is going to be wide open. He turns it down, and that's because he's got Nico Buckle in that corner. They really play for Bucky to get those open looks. He couldn't make it then. Jordan Hunt's going to get open, look from the corner. Makayo with the offensive board, tip out. It's hard to come back if you keep giving them extra positions because they're going to be able to run too much clock. Makayo cutting along the baseline. Good seal by Hunt. Driving kick, Stubbins for the spot up three. And if you give them 3 opportunities at it, you're asking for that to happen. Otago quite simply needs to rebound better. It's harder when you're the smaller team. As you get tired, it's hard to rebound against the bigger guys. Lovely wheel by Darcy Knox. Great drive baseline. Just trying to bait the defense into that. And Aitchison finds him coming along the baseline. Finally the wheel to the front of the rim. Easy layup. I believe that's foul issues for Jordan Hunt, and that is significant because he's been playing very well. Biggest man on the floor, also giving them 3-point shooting. The best of both worlds, a malleable big. It's a live ball. Everyone's forgotten that it's an M1. And it's been a long tournament. There might be some pretty fried brains at this point. They're going to have to concentrate for a little longer, and George Love, who came in for Jordan Hunt, just wipes out Richie Roger. Offensive foul, that's the downside of Theo Johnson. He's getting a rest. Hunt in foul trouble. Not quite as strong a big rotation here for George Liafra at this time with those guys unavailable. They put Love in ball screen. He does a reasonable job of staying in front. Good verticality, but that's a really good finish from Darcy Knox. Double team. Makayo dribbles right into the place that you don't want to dribble, and this is going to lead to a layup. They make it quite hard for themselves. Great job by Makayo getting back, and now it's a layup opportunity coming back for Hutt Valley as Buckrow finds Love. That's what he does well. He's a mobile big, runs the floor, can shoot from the perimeter. It's a big little turnaround there. 4-point swing. 3-point look from Davison. Flat look. Post catch, Makayo looking to evaluate. He brings the dig. Great digging by Otago, and they steal the ball. Knox with space. Love needs to get in help here because Knox is very dangerous in that one-on-one situation, but well defended by Nico Buckrow, who's got a little bit of a Charlie there, or knee-to-knee contact. Stubbins, what a pass out to Buckrow. Can't knock it down, and they've got no safety here. It's a long pass out, but Makayo with a great recovery. He's saved that. Buckrow saves it. It's an episode of the Keystone Cops right here. Makayo with the long two. He's out on his feet. Tip out by Stubbins. Saved by Buckrow. There's a lot of very tired bodies out here. Really slow to react to the ball. And a lot of errant shooting. Buckrow. You just can see it in the body language of almost everyone who looks absolutely exhausted every time something doesn't go and the transition comes. Davison hasn't played much. Aitchison should be well rested. Stubbins can go all day. Jackson Stubbins, I would imagine he'd be very good at cross country. And what a block by Aitchison. This end-to-end mess is probably what Otago needs to come back into the game from 14 down, but they do need to make sure that they get some conversions. So we see Cam Stephen, Theo Johnson waiting to come in for Hutt Valley. We see McDonald and Aston looking to come in for Otago after all that hectic play. Some fresh legs will be much appreciated on the floor. Aitchison drawstringing his free throws, needs to hold the follow through, give him a little bit more length control. much better. It's made a little bit of a pattern of missing the first and making the second. Pressure from Otago. They need some live ball turnovers to generate some easy scores. Makaio with an aggressive pass. Stubbins trying to find Elliot Stubbins, his brother, on the corner. Gets deflected. Baseline out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock here for Hutt Valley. Trying to execute their play. Taking their time. Not much time to work, and they have committed a shot clock violation. A little bit of lack of awareness. The bench there putting their hand up, apologising. They need to be making sure they give them that little heads up. 8, 7, 6, 5, and then drop out the count so that they're aware. Of course, you don't want to count all the way down to 1 because that knowledge is advantageous for the defence, who know that they can now close hard and jump on up fakes as they hear the 2-1. So you want to drop out the count with about 5 to 4 seconds to go, and then trust your players have heard you with the 8 to 5 drop down on the count, and they know what to do and have an internal clock the rest of the way. Stubbins finds Cam Stephen in the corner. Nice up fake kick. Toying with the Otago defense here a little bit with their ball movement. It's going to lead to a wide open Campbell Stephen 3. Off the one-handed little flip from Jackson Stubbins. Heyman, he's a tough player to get under control, and he draws the foul out of Cam Stephen. Hutt Valley is in the bonus, so that's ideal. It's going to put the clock to a stop, and it's going to put Heyman on the line, get into the foul line and allowing them to score with the clock stopped and organise their defence. Very, very beneficial for Otago if they're able to accomplish this. Heyman makes the first. Nico Buckle, after a short rest, is back into the game now. Stubbins is a little bit in trouble here, but he's a good player when he gets himself into trouble. Ideally, you don't get there. Bullet passing, great interior ball movement. Bullet pass from Stubbins. Lovely dime on the interior, leads to a layup. That's the highlight play of this game so far. Lovely teamwork. Heyman, tough pull-up. Stubbins taking the air out of the ball. They're going to run clock here. Otago back in zone. Interesting strategy choice given that they need more possessions in this game. And it may look like it's a concession there by Otago, giving such an easy layup. They can't afford that. They need more possessions of this game. Dropping back into 2-3 zone is going to result in less possessions. Not what you want when you're down. 3 by Aston, trying to emulate his older brother. Can't quite do it. Lovely transition pass. Campbell Stephen scores, and we see subs for Otago and for Hutt Valley. Timeout for Otago. Coming out of this will be pretty much close to their last gasp. The last 40, 50 seconds, probably the death knell for their chances. Their losses have often looked similar to this, where they've been competitive, but they just have run out of steam as the fourth quarter has progressed. They've done a great job. The huge upset over Harbour in the quarterfinal, what a meritorious accomplishment that was. But they just sometimes haven't quite been able to fight their way and stay in games all the way to the end, and that's what it's looking like is occurring now. They're going to have the advancement here, so let's see what Coach Brockbant has drawn up off the sideline out of bounds. They probably need to have a number of interactions in the play. Some of their baseline out of bounds have involved very little interaction. Makes it quite easy to defend, so it'll be interesting to see what they have on this sideline out of bounds to see whether they put more actions, especially Hutt Valley switches. So if you just make singular actions, it's going to be a very easy switch. You have to overload their communication systems by creating more variables. Put 2 players in, there's not many variables. They're going to need to have screening actions most likely that involve 3 or more players to try to confuse and overwhelm their communication systems. So we're going to see what they come out with now. Little stagger down, curl it, looking to just get the ball in bounds. And nice little rub screen generates an open three, and Aston knocks it down. So good little misdirection play there. That's a much better play design. Looking to turn up the pressure. They've got out of the 2-3 zone now. And that's a very casual pass by Theo Johnson. Really, you want to be smarter. Probably Jackson Stubbins shouldn't have passed it to him. He should have pulled it out. And now Jackson realizes that and slows it down. They're going to come to double him here. He leaves his feet to make the pass. And they really are opening the door. 12-point game. And now Chris Porteous will sub in for Theo Johnson. I believe this is a little bit of a tribute type sub. The 5 guys that are on the court now for Hutt Valley are people who are top age. They'll never play youth basketball again, and they've played a lot together. They still have a job to do to make sure that they win this game. The job is basically run 24 seconds off the clock. If they just hold the ball, Otago won't get the ball enough times to make it up, and they seem to be recognizing this now. Running out the clock, it's a flare screen little look. Nice execution, Porteous with a nice pass, and they over-rotate a little bit, but that's really what they had to do. They didn't need to shoot. I mean, they would have wanted to in the last remaining seconds, but all they needed to do was get a 24-second violation, and quite simply there would not be enough positions for Otago to come back. The previous few seconds they've been turning the ball over early in the possessions. That's what Otago needed to have a chance. But this game now quite simply doesn't involve enough possessions for Otago to come back. So Hutt Valley will win the metaphorical bronze medal match, finishing their tournament on a high note. Been a great tournament for both these teams. Otago, they were the dark horse, managed to get themselves into the semi-final. Some people saw that that could come, but not most. Hutt Valley, they'll be a little bit disappointed with their tournament, but it'll take a little bit of the sting out of it, winning this last game. Going to be able to dribble out the clock here. Shot clock off. Ball in the hands of Jackson Stubbins. And now they give it up to Chris Porteous, who shoots a 3. And Scobie says, well, I wouldn't mind having a 3. A little bit of humour here to finish as the 2 backup centres fire up 3s and in their own little game. Neither makes it, all in good spirit. And the game concludes. Hutt Valley winning 81-69 over Otago. Hutt Valley with the bronze medal finishing position. Thank you for joining us. Join us later for the finals. We see still to come today. 3 p.m. the women's grand final. Waikato, an amazing team led by Charlize Leger-Walker, the rising prodigy of New Zealand women's basketball. And they will go up against Tauranga with a really accomplished crew of Daesh and the Rogers sisters, well coached by Rachel Gurda. And then following that will be the men's final, a balanced and really well coached Canterbury team. Dave Langrell, Joe Cook-Green, and the whole red and black crew will go up against Waikato Country featuring Hiram Harris. Those will be on later for you on iFilm and Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page. We look forward to you joining us then. Thank you very much for your viewership. Until later today, thank you and goodbye.